I'm Corbett Wall with USDA Market News, here with your weekly feeder and stocker cattle market summary for the week ending May the 16th, where you had yearling feeder cattle, those going right into the feedlot, selling $2 to $5 higher, and the full advance on those bigger heavy feeders weighing over 800 pounds and a lot of them weighing over 900 or 1,000. But your steer and heifer calves selling steady to $5 higher. Lightweights under 500 pounds, those little peewee 3 and 4 weight calves continue to make up a larger percentage of the run than what they normally do, as these producers they can't help themselves but to cash those cattle in on these record prices. But the real push was on those big cattle at the OKC West El Reno livestock market there in El Reno, Oklahoma. They called the big yearling cattle, steers and heifers weighing over 900 pounds, $8 to $10 higher, which is almost unheard of, and specifically pulling those big heavy cattle out like that. And in the top quality steers weighing 900 to 1,000 pounds, they had 625 head in there, averaging 951 at 169.55. A big push on the big cattle down in the southern plains like that has been coming from your northern buyers. There's not any sales going on right now in Nebraska and in Iowa area. They might have one sale a month and may not have a whole lot of cattle in that. There's not many cattle, big cattle, feeding cattle for sale up in that country. And so these northern buyers are having to head south to try to fill those orders. And this time of year, if those cattle aren't just up to specs, it's okay, because it's going to be hot anyway, and those southern cattle feed a little better in hot weather, so the quality's not bothering them that much. But seeing those northern buyers come in, they're also going to be running around the Flint Hills and maybe even down into Osage too, looking to buy cattle private treaty off that grass whenever they come. And won't be that long till those double stock cattle start coming off in July there. But replacement demand is still out of this world. You just see any kind of a bred cow or a good heifer going to be kept back. And at the Ozarks Regional Stockyard, West Plains, Missouri, if you don't know where that's at, it's just north of the Arkansas line, right in the center of Missouri, southern Missouri, and just up from central Arkansas there. But the Ozarks Regional Stockyard, and you wouldn't think you would see something like this happen, but you're liable to see anything happen at the Ozarks Regional Stockyards. But this week they had a load of fancy red motley faced heifers. They were red Angus influenced, but not purebred by any means, weighing 774 pounds, bring $2.15 a pound, or $1,664 by the head, right there in West Plains, Missouri. And you would think that you'd have to be in the Nebraska sandhills to see something like that happen, but the demand for these replacement cattle is just really popping everywhere. Somewhere in the Midwest in the last few weeks, there's been a row crop farmer pulling his corn or soybean planter across his field, listening to the auction market report on his tractor radio, thinking that he probably should be planting grass, and maybe wishing that he hadn't torn the fences out that he's torn out within the last 3 or 4 years there. But it's just, everything is just lining up for this feeder cattle market. It's not showing any signs of backing off. Now you're starting to hear guys talk about these 8-weight cattle maybe bringing over $2 a pound. And just a few weeks ago we were saying, oh, that'll never happen. But whatever happened last week is just common this week, and we wait for every day sets a new record. Cattle on feed is going to give a little bit more support, kind of neutral to friendly to the feeder cattle market. Your May 1st inventories come in just like they thought, about 99%, but still less than a year ago for the 21st straight time. Placements is where the push is going to come in. Placements come in at 95% of a year ago, and they were thinking they were going to be a little higher than that, around 97%. Marketings were strong. A lot of people thought that the marketings were going to be off more than what they were, but the marketings come in at 98%, and that's what they had expected for that. But still, it's the lowest April marketings we've had since the cattle on feed report series began back in 1996, and that's just due to supplies are so tight. But your fed cattle market was $1 to $3 lower on a live basis this week, from 145 to 147. Dress sales $2 lower at mostly 234. Regional weighted averages this week in the north central states: an 8 to 900 pound steer cost you 186.05 compared to 180.68 last week and 131.71 a year ago. Down in the south central states, a 7 to 800 pound steer cost you 188.87 compared to 184.01 last week and 132.54 a year ago. Down in the southeast, a 5-weight steer cost you 212.27 compared to 210.34 last week and 139.94 a year ago. That wraps up your feeder and stocker cattle market summary for this week. Check out our website for more market information at marketnews.usda.gov. And from the Regional Market News Office in St. Joe, Missouri, we'll talk to you next week.